Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming my first Cluedo Picks My TBR of the year. As you are probably aware by now, I decided to take some time off from filming in January and February, and I haven't been setting a TBR for those months. I've just been reading anything that I fancied really. But I thought it's time to revive the Cluedo Picking My TBR for March, so I'm going to do that for you today. One of the reasons I had a few months break from doing this was that it just became too much pressure, and this was meant to be a fun way to help me like diversify my TBR a little bit and pick up things that I wouldn't usually pick up, and it became just more stressful than enjoyable. I've had a little bit of a think about it, how I do it. I will link back down to the original video where I first did this so you can see what the original rules were, and I've just relaxed it slightly. For a start, I'm going to stick to drawing 4 cards for the moment, and we're going to see how that goes. I'm still going to be drawing my mystery forfeit card so that if I don't read the 4 books that I pick within the month, then I will have an extra one to pick the following month, which will be that mystery card. But I've decided that I'm going to take out the rule where if I pick 3 of the same card I have to read an extra book, because that just adds too much pressure. But I've also changed up the category slightly for what they represent, so I'm going to go through that now. The first set of cards, if you're familiar with Cluedo, you get weapons cards, character cards and room cards. The weapons cards haven't changed, they represent a genre, so we've got revolver, which is a mystery or thriller, the candlestick is historical fiction, the dagger is for fantasy, the spanner is for science fiction, the piping is for contemporary, and the rope is for classics. So those have stayed the same. To make my life a little bit easier, I've decided to now make the character cards, which had categories before, the character cards are now just going to be colour cards. So if I pick one of these cards, I have to read a book with that colour on the cover in that month. But to make it a little bit easier, I don't have to pick those in advance, so they can be mood reads or they can be books I'm already part way through. If I picked Mrs. White and one of the books that I'm currently reading and I finish it in the month has that colour on it, then that counts even though I started it before the month. The colours are white for Mrs. White, green for Reverend Green, purple for Professor Plum, yellow for Colonel Mustard, red for Miss Scarlett, and blue for Mrs. Peacock. And so that's just to kind of give me more options for mood reading, really, to make my life that little bit easier. Finally, the room cards are different categories, so I'm just going to go through those quickly now for you. So the kitchen is a book with less than 250 pages. The ballroom is using iTunes Shuffle to pick a book for me. The conservatory is getting my friend Penny to pick a book for me. The billiard room is a book from the oldest on my TBR. The library is a borrowed book, quite obviously. The study is an international book, so that would either be books from an author that isn't British or American, would probably cover books that I would read for Read Around the World or for my translated or foreign language books as well. The hall is a new release. The lounge is the next book I need to read to complete a series. And then the dining room is a book from a diverse author, so that's an author of colour or an author from the LGBTQIA+ community or any of the other diversity markers I usually look for. That includes authors with disability, with mental illness or neurodiversity. So those are all the categories. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shuffle the cards and I'm going to draw 4 cards, and if they are cards that require me to pick a book, I will pick a book for you now. So this is exciting because I haven't done this for a few months. So here we go, let's shuffle the cards, and the first card is the library, so that is going to be a borrowed book. So the book I'm going to pick for that, I think, is going to be this one, In Dreams and Winter Rose by Nora Roberts, because it's quite wintry and we're just coming, well, March is kind of the first month of spring, so I've got this out from the library and I kind of want to read it while it is still vaguely wintry outside. I've been meaning to get around to this and I have not quite managed it yet, so that will do quite nicely for that one. Okay. So that's the first book picked. That was quite easy and straightforward. The next card is the Conservatory. I've already forgotten what that was. Oh, this is exciting. So this is, my friend Penny is going to pick a book for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send her a picture of some of my bookshelves, and she will pick a book from those shelves, and I will edit and Carrie will add in a little bit later to tell you what book that will be. Okay, so my friend Penny is super speedy with her replies. So I texted her just after I finished filming my TBR and said, could she pick a book for me? First of all, I asked her to pick a number between 1 and 7 to help me narrow down to which shelf to pick from. she selected shelf number 4, which was this shelf. I'll stick a picture in for you. So then I sent her that picture and said, could she pick a book for me from that shelf? And she has picked for me Trail of Lightning by Roanhorse, which is very exciting. I read Black Sun, which is Rebecca Roanhorse's newest book. We read that for Space Sirens back in, it was November or December, I think it was November. And this one actually my friend Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book sent me for my birthday, so I've been meaning to get to it for ages. So very excited to be picking this one up for my Penny Picks book. That's fun. She hasn't got to pick one yet. That's the first time I've drawn the Penny Picks card. Okay, the next one is, we're getting all room cards today, Billiard Room. Okay, so the Billiard Room is picking a book from my oldest on my TBR list. I used to do this with a random number generator, but I actually kind of feel like I'm less likely to pick up the book if I do that. I need to do the oldest on the TBR review for you as well. I haven't quite got around to filming that yet, so that will be coming soon, so you can know an update on what's on that list. I've made my life very difficult by the way I've currently got my room arranged, and I really need to sort through my books soon. So this is a slightly chunky one, but I think this is the one that I'm going to be most in the mood for. So this is kind of a historical fiction, but with a bit of a mystery element to it. It's called The Misbegotten by Katherine Webb. It's about a reclusive man. He's just married, his childhood sweetheart disappeared, and one of the servants in the house is convinced that something sinister happened to her. I like that kind of historical mystery, so yeah, I think we're going to go for that. One more draw then. We'll see what's coming next. And then we have, oh, that's helpful. So we have Miss Scarlett. So this is just finishing a book with red on the cover, and actually one of the books that I'm currently reading that I'm not sure I'm going to finish in February has red on it, but if not, I'm sure I will pick up something else that has red on it. So that is a mood read card. I just have to read something with red on the cover in the month of March. That will count for that, so I don't have to pick that in advance. That is helpful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick the mystery card. I'm going to try and pick it without spoiling it for myself, without seeing it. So a little bit about practice with this, but I'm going to close my eyes. Oops, if I don't throw stuff on the floor. So I've got the mystery envelope here. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes, and then hopefully when editing Carrie is looking at this, this is the card. That's going to be my mystery pick for next month. So if I don't manage to read the 4 books I've picked, then I will have to read that one, and it is in the envelope and I can't see it, and so that is ready for my forfeit for if I don't manage to read the 4 books I've picked. Well, the 2 books that I've picked so far. Me again, slightly later Carrie here, to say I forgot to mention that our Space Sirens book club pick for March is The Gilded ones by Namina Forna, so I will be trying to read this in March as well. It has got very small amounts of red on the cover, so I may squeeze this in as my mood read, my red book mood read, but we will see. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. This was actually my nomination. It's the first time one of my nominations has won. So yeah, looking forward to reading this in March, and we'll give you details about the live show and all of that sort of stuff on our Space Sirens Twitter feed, so I'll link that for you in the description box too. Quite fun to be back and doing this, and I'm glad to have hopefully found a way. We'll see how it goes, but I've hopefully found a way to do it without putting too much pressure on myself. Yeah, let me know if you've read either of the books that I've picked so far this month, or some of what you're planning to read in March. Are you taking part in any sort of readathons or anything? Let me know some of what's going on in your life, or just drop me an emoji of, let's go for a weapon today. Drop me a weapon emoji if you've made it this far in this video in the comments below. Have a chat to me as well. Please also like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and you can also follow me on my social media. All that information is listed for you in the description box below. But that's it for today, so I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!